The San Francisco 49ers are going to kick ass and take names this season, and it all starts with head coach Kyle Shanahan.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Niners Now podcast. I am your host, Beto, aka Beto Niners Sickness Podcast, and I have my co-host, Jess from East Coast Red and Gold. Everyone, welcome to the show. I apologize for the delay of the show. I was too busy gossiping with my friend over the phone. Lost concept if it wasn't for Jess texting me and telling me, where in the heck are you? So my apologies, but welcome. Jess, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Better now that I'm able to calm down and get the show going. There's so much to talk about. Let's see if we can all cramp it in. But before we do, I just want to remind everyone to please make sure to wipe your feet before entering and make sure to smash that like button on both my channel and the Niners Now podcast. Now, real quick, if you're watching me through my channel, which I appreciate, but if you get the opportunity, make your way over to YouTube, type in Niners Now Pod, P-O-D. It'll bring you up to our YouTube channel. Click and subscribe to our channel. Let's grow that channel, because eventually what I want to do is I want to go live just on Niners Now podcast. So please make your way over there if you're not already part of the channel. Let's say hello to people coming in, Jess. We got John in the house. How you doing, John? Welcome. We got Don in the house. What's up, Don?
Hey,
Don. We got Daniel Boris Sports Highlights in the house. What's up, yo? We got my boy, Jimmy Perez in La Casa. What's up, brother?
Hey, Jimmy.
Who else do we have popping in? We got Damian Lee in the house. What's up, Damian? We got Daniel Cantu in the house. What's up, Daniel? Welcome to the show. He's too shy, doesn't want to show his face. That's okay. As long as you're here, we're good. We got Charles Perkins is in the house. What's up, Charles? I don't know who Bethel is, but if you're trying to say Beto, I appreciate it, bro. Who's Bethel? Only thing I can think of is Bethel Christian Church or something like that. Who else do we have in here? Make sure I don't miss anybody. We got our boy, David Corona in the house. He says, what's up, homie? And Jess, Niners all day, every day. Jess, we have now concluded our third day of training camp, but our second day with Brock Purdy. So many things that have been said, so many things that have taken place. What is one of the things that you might have heard from your particular guy you like to listen to report to you through social media that you like so far in training camp?
Well, I think that the defense is really holding their own. Talanoa Hufanga, Fred Warner, They're really giving the offense a hard time, so that definitely stands out for me. But that's no surprise. I mean, we do have the number one defense, but yeah, that's definitely what stands out for me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Just like Don said, please do not forget to smash the like button and wipe your feet. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and wipe my feet. I subscribe and wipe my feet. Thank you, Don. Yeah, the defense. Now you got to remember, without the pads, I mean, I love what the defense, and we know what defense we have already. We have a stacked defense, but you can't really say much. You can't really judge the offense based on your defense without the pads. Once Monday comes on and the pads start going out, not even Monday, because that'll be the first day with pads, but one thing about an offensive line, they need to find their comfort zone with one another. So I'm looking at about maybe 4 or 5 days into the pads that you can kind of start getting a true feeling of what your offense is going to do. I always tell everybody in start of training camp, the advantage is always on the defense. Now, with that said, I'm not taking away nothing of what you just said. We have a spectacular defense. We got better by making some couple of additions in the offseason. We drafted some potential players. Now, I don't like to give credit too much to draftees yet, even though I'm excited about Jair Brown. I'm excited to see what he can possibly be in this defense, but I haven't seen him play. I haven't seen Isaiah Oliver play in this defense yet. But I haven't even, and to that note, I haven't even seen Hargrave play. Now, Hargrave, we see what he did in Philadelphia. We're hoping that we get that same production, if not more, in San Francisco. But until I see them play, but we know what Hufanga can do. We know what Nick Bosa can do. We know what Armstead can do. So I'm looking forward to that. Jess, real quick to get the big elephant out of the way. When it comes to Nick Bosa, I thought that he would have signed by today. Apparently, he hasn't signed yet. So and I don't think it's a money issue. I think they already figured out the money part of the contract. I think they're just working out the little kinks, like the no trades, or if he gets hurt, blah blah blah. Do you think they get this solved by the weekend so that he'll be there Monday when the pads come on, or do you think he might even miss Monday based on the trajectory of this so far?
I don't know. I kind of think that this would be done, by Monday. Obviously, I guess we obviously have to wait and see what happens. I actually thought it would have been done already before training camp even started, like the eve of, but, hopefully it's done by Monday.
Yeah, I agree. I would love it to be done by Monday, get him in here. Now, people are like, it's surprising that Nick Bosa's not signed yet. We thought listen, Nick Bosa is faithful to playing in San Francisco. The Niners are faithful in keeping him in San Francisco. But unless you're the one that's dealing with the contract, you want to go through the fine print. If anybody's ever bought a house, and if you're not going through that paperwork properly, shame on you. You got to do your due diligence. Go through that paperwork knowing exactly what you're signing before you sign it, because there's no, oops, I didn't think this was happening. Oops, I didn't know about this. Him and his agent have to know exactly where both parties stand, and that's what takes a little bit of more time. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I think the money, people are like, pay Bosa, pay him already. I don't think it's the money that is holding this up. They know what he's worth, but it's the little things. What happens if he gets hurt? He can't ride a motorcycle, or he can't do this, and he's like, I want to ride a motorcycle, or whatever. I'm just using that as just bringing. I'm not saying that that's what they're talking about, but to the point is, those are the things that I'm thinking they're trying to iron out and work out, and this is why there's a little bit of a delay. I don't think it's the money. I think the money's already been settled. It's just a matter of getting that fine detail, getting your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and I think they'll get it done over the weekend. personally.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. So, but that's the whole front on Bosa. Bosa's here to stay. If anything, Jess, we know this. If you all you got to rely on is the track record. Okay, I understand if the Niners had a shaky track record, if we had lost possible great players uh, to free agency because we can't sign them because we can't make the right bid or whatever, we're too stuck on
Mhm.
ourselves. But look at the track record. That speaks volumes for itself. Kittle, your guy, signed his contract. Fred Warner signed his contract. Even Debo, there was a little bit of a diva with the train me now crap. They signed him because they take care of those that they covet. If you do, if you're the type of player they want on and off the field and you're performing, they're going to keep you. And if there's any reassurance, is this, right, Jess? After a performance that we got from Bosa this offseason, this last season, 18 and a half sacks. Why in the world would the Niners want to lose him? Why would you want to lose that type of player who's a cornerstone of the defense? They're going to get him signed. It may not be on your timetable, and it might not even be the time you want him to be signed. But at the end of the day, when week one comes around and we're facing the Steelers, if he's signed a day after before that, I'm okay. I don't like it, but I'm okay because Bosa is always going to be Bosa. Bosa's not sitting at home eating ice cream and marshmallows. This guy is working his ass off. He's in the training room. He's working. He's doing everything he has to do to stay in shape. And I do not expect him to come out of shape into camp whenever he comes in. Now, moving on.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
you know, no, it's just they're obviously gonna extend him. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of when.
Exactly. So, moving on to another player. I want to get your thoughts, Jess. What do you think about Debo and how he looks coming into camp this year?
Well, he looks a little leaner. He did say this is the best shape that, and I want to get to this comment as well
Which
after.
which one? Who's?
Um, the one that you have on the screen right now.
Oh, okay.
Um, he does look a little bit leaner. He said that he's in the best shape that he's been in since 2019. So NFL, watch out.
Yep. Yep. Um, these are the
You're
things,
right there.
and I'm going to let you get to this comment in a minute. I just want to say this: everybody has their reasons why they watch training camp or they get into training camp. My main thing is not for the stats. It's not how many touchdowns they catch or how deep he can throw the ball. It's about A, is the player coming fit or is he fat? Is he in shape or not? I want to see if he's healthy or not. Those are the things that I like to key in. Not necessarily, oh, he threw for 50 yards or he completed a 2 out of 6 instead of 6 out of 6. That's all. It's practice, ladies and gentlemen. It's practice. It isn't a real game. So, with that said, I love the way Debo looks. He looks like if he doesn't get hurt, God forbid, he's going to have a breakout year, and that's what we want going into the season in training camp. Now, back to this question. Go ahead and respond to this
Um,
question.
yeah, from Sacktown Izzy, 2 days in a row, lands zero first team reps as Shanahan lost his mind. Well, Shanahan also said that Brock Purdy was getting first team reps. Um, Lance and Darnold will get QB2,
Yep.
and then Allen will be QB3. Um, so yeah, that's how that goes.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Um. People listen. People don't listen to what Kyle says, and
Apparently not.
they project their own narrative. They project what they. It's like Kyle is speaking, and they're only hearing what they want to hear. from their
Right.
perspective, and they don't
Yep.
let. And then when it doesn't happen the way they want it to happen, they get pissed off at Kyle. Well, Kyle just told you
Yep.
that Brock is going to go out and work with the ones. He didn't say Brock and then occasionally we're going to work in Trey. If Trey or Sam Donald do work with the ones, is when Brock is not practicing because they have the 2-in-1 day off. If that happens to fall, that I can see Trey working with the ones. But Kyle has made it very clear that if Brock Purdy's out there and he's throwing and he's competing, he'll be competing with the ones. So, Sacktown, this is not a surprise. You shouldn't be surprised. Kyle's keeping to his word. He said it. Brock is going to work with the ones. So I don't expect to see Trey. Now, we got to get out of our emotions, right, Jess? It's like, is it fair? It's not fair that Trey doesn't get an opportunity. You got to get out of those emotions. Life isn't fair. Life is not fair for no one. You got to make the best of whatever the life throws at you. Trey may be the better quarterback. We don't know that. Trey may be having the higher ceiling than Brock. We don't know that. But what we do know is Brock has shown enough to win over Kyle's confidence as he's starting QB. And whether you hate hate Brock or not, and I'm not saying Sackdown that you do, all I'm saying is you gotta support whatever QB is behind center because team should always be first. The name on the front, not the name on the back. I understand everybody has their favorite players, those that they want to support. You buy their jerseys, you support their, that's all great and fun as a fan. But it's about what makes the team better. And right now, it's Brock until he shows otherwise. And you might be right. Trey may not get an opportunity to showcase what he's capable of doing. But life isn't fair. Brock is here. And for those, I just want to say this real quick, and that it bothers me, for those that I read on Twitter, that you're wishing that Brock gets hurt so that Trey gets an opportunity. That is, I cannot say you're a Niner fan. I cannot. And I know for a fact you're not a parent. Because you're not going to wish ill on one kid so the other kid can step up.
You'd be surprised nowadays.
Oh, well, no shit, huh? Let me rephrase it. You're right. Nowadays, I'm old school, Jess.
I know.
I'm old school. So my thinking is still old school, but you're right. Nowadays, yeah. Parents sell their own kids for money. So with that said,
and Sacktown has a follow-up comment that they should at least split reps. But right now, Darnold is getting more reps than Lance, and 3 first-round picks for this is absurd. Look, the picks are the picks. The picks are whatever, and then once you get into the NFL, that's it. Like, the picks are gone. But as far as splitting reps, like, we're not in grammar school. There's no they're not handing out participation trophies and all this. Like, they're not splitting reps because Brock's been hurt and he needs the reps. And Trey will get those first team reps when Brock has a rest day.
exactly. See, what people don't understand, Jess, is that we get caught up in our fantasies. We get caught up as fans. And there's nothing wrong with being a fan. But this is a business. Kyle does not see the Niners the way we do. A lot of us do, I should say. We see it from a fan perspective. Kyle sees it. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to keep forgetting your cooler, right? Your cooler's going on?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, it threw me
Yes.
off. I'm sorry. I'm like, it started to come up gradually.
It's so weird that you hear that because every other show, like, nobody hears it.
Well, I have monitors in my ear.
Oh, okay.
So maybe if you just playing it off the regular speaker, probably wouldn't hear it. Even if you have headsets, but I have the monitors in my ear. And so this shit picks
gotcha.
up. If you fart and nobody hears you, I'll hear it. I'm not saying you, but a guest.
No, I know.
But back to the point. This is a business. It's not. Kyle doesn't see the team the way we do. Kyle's not going to put Trey in just because he likes Trey and Trey's his favorite and not his bro. Kyle's going to put in the player he thinks gives him the better chance of winning. Now, does it mean he's always right? No. But as a coach, based on tape, a lot of tape, by the way, he sees that Brock has earned. And anybody that doesn't say that Brock has earned that number one spot, and then I don't know what you're watching. You can't love a player so much that you're blinded to everything else. At least you shouldn't be. I love Trey. I want Trey to be successful. I want Trey to get his opportunity. And if, God forbid, as a fan, and God forbid, if we're winning with Brock and injuries do happen, I don't wish them on anybody, but they do happen. If Brock does get hurt, God forbid, I want Trey to come in and tear it up. I want Trey to do his best. That means we're going to continue to win. And we're getting to that goal is to get in our sixth Lombardi. At that point, he comes in and we can have a different conversation. But Brock right now gives us a better chance of winning based on the film. And this is another thing, Jess. It doesn't matter what Trey does in training camp. It doesn't matter what he does in preseason. It's not live games. Brock has shown what he can do in live games, and he showed that he's won 2 playoff games. How are you going to put someone that hasn't even played in the playoffs over a quarterback that's won 2 games in the playoffs? It's common sense, isn't it? Brock has won 2 games in the playoffs, and people say, wow, we gave up 3 number. Technically, we gave up 2 number ones. We just traded the other. We moved from up to down or down up. It's not like we lost our pick. Otherwise, how do we pick Trey? But I know the way they like to bring it up. But the point is this. They saw something in Trey. They felt convicted enough to move up from 12 to 3 to get him. And they got him. Things happened not to work out the way they planned out for whatever reasons. Last year, Trey gets hurt. Unfortunately for him, he gets hurt. Jimmy comes in for a while, and then he gets hurt, and then Brock comes in and shows you what he can do. After seeing that, how do you expect for Kyle Shanahan to go back to Trey based on, while he has potential, he has the higher ceiling. He can, you don't go by that. You go by what you see. And the only thing that Trey needs is to continue to work hard, keep his head down, and if the opportunity comes up for him to come in, he needs to make sure he takes complete advantage of that opportunity if it does come up. But other than that, Brock is the starter. You're going to get Trey splitting reps with Sam Darnold. And I know a lot of people don't like Sam Darnold. They think he's trash because of his past. But to Kyle, whatever quarterback shows can be the true backup, that's who he's going to go with. Kyle doesn't care about the threes. So why should we as fans, right? Kyle cares about the performance on the field. But yet we fans are stuck on, well, we gave up 3 number ones. Kyle's past that.
Like, you know what? At this point, who cares about that? I mean, sometimes things happen and things don't work out.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. Like, that's life.
Solomon Thomas. He wasn't number 1. He was 3rd pick overall. He's not even on the team. Nobody's talking about him.
What is it? Joe Williams, the running back.
Oh yeah, Cadillac Williams.
Yeah.
Joe Williams.
He didn't work out either.
Yeah, and the whole narrative that Kyle doesn't know how to pick running backs in the 3rd round is the stupidest thing I've heard. So Trey Sermon didn't work out. I heard TDP is looking really good in training camp so far. This whole narrative about He doesn't know how, he missed out on Williams and he missed out on Trey Sermon. It's give and take. It's a crapshoot, isn't it? Draft picks.
Yeah,
Look at
they are. Yeah.
if teams saw what Brock Purdy did this past season, I guarantee you he's not making it to the seventh round. If Brock Purdy if he went out in the draft this year, how high do you think he would have went based on what he did last year? Just as a typical guess.
Uh, I'd say maybe. I'd say maybe second, third round.
Yeah, I don't think he would have been one, but because he does have his limitations, his height and the strength of the arm, blah blah blah. But he wouldn't have gone in the seventh round. Tom Brady didn't go into the sixth round. So many teams, even the Patriots, passed on him until the sixth round, and he's a 7-time Super Bowl champion. Draft picks are draft picks. It's how you get into the NFL. It's the gateway of you coming in. How many undrafted free agents have become Hall of Famers? And how many number one picks have become a bust? They came in two different ways, right? But based on their performance on the field, it's what made them who they were. So if you're undrafted free agent or you're a number one pick, it doesn't matter. That's just the way you came into the NFL. What you do with your opportunity while you're on the NFL is what's going to make who you are. It's whether you're going to get the gold jacket or you're just going to play for the longevity of your career and then move on. I appreciate that the chat is live and is popping in the chat. David McNiner, welcome. He says, no starting quarterback has been named. There should be an open competition every season. And there is, but for the backup. James went 5-0 in his first start. How do you work out? Now, again, no disrespect, but comparing Brock to Jimmy Garoppolo starting 5 games, people, Niner fans, and I'm going to get your opinion on this, Jess. People will say, I can't believe they gave Jimmy all that money just after 5 games. That was the smart thing for the Niners to do based on his performance. You know how much quarterbacks get paid now?
Yeah.
Compared to what they gave him for those 5 years? That was a steal. The problem was Jimmy, because of his injuries, did not work out. But I guarantee you, Jimmy would have won us a Super Bowl in 2019 and Jimmy would have continued to win. Everybody would have been saying, that was the best thing they did. Sign him. But just because he didn't work out the way you think he should have, people are negative. Well, Brock is a different beast. He's a different person, different mindset, different habits.
I'm not really big into like the comparisons. I mean,
It's unfair.
Why can't everybody just be their own person? Like Brock is Brock, Trey is Trey. Like why do people have to make a comparison to, Jimmy G or like I've seen comparisons to Patrick Mahomes. Like why can't they just be their own person? I never understood that.
Can you hear the ice cream man behind me?
No.
Oh wow, this microphone's freaking amazing. That shit is blurring. Kid must have stopped him right outside my window because it's blurry. You know the no music. The fact that you can't hear it. Thank you, Nathaniel. Go ahead.
Charles earlier said something about where is it? Hold on. I'm gonna find it.
He's asking me. I just happened to click on this one, and I'm assuming that's the one he's referencing.
He said today he read where his favorite Niner, Kittle, said the Super Bowl window is closing with this team. Do you see a Super Bowl this season? We're well overdue. Go Niners. He didn't say it was closing. He just said we have to keep it open.
What is closing, by the way? I never understood that. It's closing. Do players get older? Yes. Do contracts come up and bite you in the ass when it comes to the cap? Yes. But you got to remember, the Niners not only have great players, they develop players. Kittle was developed, Jess. You love Kittle. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Kittle. Kittle, everything he did, Kittle did. But there's a reason why Kittle went in the 5th round, not the 1st round.
Mm-hmm.
And the Niners developed him, and they brought him in, and Kittle is who he is. The Niners are not always looking at these big names. They're always developing as well, so they can continue to make an effort of making the Super Bowl every year. So I never understood about the window. The window's closing. We only have so much window. I take it season by season, Jess. I'm worried
Yeah, I
about
do
this
the same.
season and this season only. Let's stay healthy. Let's win games.
Yeah, same.
Because this whole window doesn't matter if we win a Super Bowl. Let's just, that's just me though. One shoe at a time. I have never got up in the morning out of bed and just jumped in both of my slippers at the same time. It's always one, at least for me, it's always one foot over the other. And then I get up and do my thing. I don't know why I brought that analogy, but I did. What's up, Steve-O? Best thing they did was sign CMC and the draft of Purdy last year. Can't argue that. Cannot argue with that. What I'm saying, there is not enough sample size with Purdy to give him a starting quarterback spot, but there's enough.
Right. That he's getting the first team reps, and he's, probably going to start week 1.
So let me ask this question, Jess, and I'm directing it to David. David can answer too. There's not enough sample size on Brock Purdy to give him the starting job. But we haven't seen nothing from Trey, and it's not Trey's fault. It has been to injury and that crazy game against Chicago and that freaking weather. So I'm not putting this on Trey. But I seen what Brock can do. I see how he controls the pocket, how he makes his reads, how he extends plays, how he's calm, cool, and collective under pressure. I seen these things from him. He reads and he has a quick process. I seen him win games. That's enough for me to start him at number 1. And he deserves it. So even though people may think that it's not a fair for Trey not to compete with Brock, why is it people say, well, it's not fair for Brock to do what he did and having to compete for that job? He earned it. And now, if Trey comes in training camp and preseason and just kicks it out of the water, or if Brock, for whatever reason, misses a game or two and Trey just blows it up, then that's a conversation for another day to have. But until now, Brock has earned that spot. Trey hasn't. And that's just the reality. And people think, well, he earned it because of what we gave up for him. Bullshit. That's not a reason to give him number 1 job because he was 3 number 1s and Brock was a 7th round pick. Brock is the QB1 today, not because where he got drafted, but because of what he did when his opportunity presented itself. But that's just my opinion. It doesn't have to be agreed upon, but I just think that he deserves to be QB1. He earned it on the games that he played. Now, and the Jimmy Garoppolo situation was different because there was really nobody behind Jimmy.
That's true.
There was nobody behind Jimmy to compare to. Oh, give it to Hoyer. Yeah, we're not going to do that. You know what I mean? So it's a different situation with Jimmy than it is with Brock. And people look at the capital that we gave for Trey and the potential, and people overlook of what Brock has done. So let things play out. Let things play out. I believe in Kyle. I believe maybe I'm being, people like to call it an ass kisser. Well, if I'm an ass kisser, then that's what I am. But I believe in Trey. I believe in Kyle. I believe in John Lynch. That's my general manager. That's my head coach. Until they show me otherwise. Now, does it mean I agree with them in everything they do? No. It doesn't mean I don't criticize in certain things, but they are there for a reason. I'm supporting them. And when they do good, I'm going to give them praise. When they don't, I'll give them criticism. That's my job as a content creator and as a fan. But I will support them while they're there. And I'm going to believe they have the best interest to win games. I don't think Kyle comes in. How am I going to screw this up, Jess? You know what? I'm just going to find ways to lose. I don't think he comes in that mindset, does he?
No.
They come to win. Now, if that might not transcend to wins, but I can guarantee you that every coach, no matter what team they coach, their mentality in training camp is to win as many games as they can and make it to the Super Bowl. Some of them get there and achieve it. Some of them don't. But I believe that the same goal is there for all 32 teams. That's just me, maybe. Let's see. The term sophomore slump is the Bermuda Triangle for quarterbacks. You want to answer that, Jess?
I don't know if I believe that.
Never really heard that like that, so it's like that's why I give it to you.
Thank you.
Hey, you're my co-host for a reason. Just
No, I know.
not to look pretty and smile. You got to back me up, girl. And thank you for answering it. Even though
Um, can you pull up David McNiner's comment?
this one,
Yes.
okay.
Your thoughts.
I believe in Bill Walsh way, open competition for every starting position every season. Don't just hand any player a spot. What are we comparing oranges with apples here? Joe Montana.
It's like it's literally exhausting. I mean, it's gotten to a point where like people like post a picture, and I'd like your thoughts on this, Beto. Like people post a picture, and it's like, does this guy look like he could win a Super Bowl?
Oh no, don't even. I already got in trouble for that, for answering a certain way, and I apologize, admit. But I also like what Joey put on there. He showed a picture of Tom Brady,
Right.
and that was the best way to
And
answer
you know
that
what?
question.
I really didn't want like, I wasn't didn't really want your comments, but like just like that's how bad it's gotten.
Yeah, I got you. No, I hear you. I hear you. And to answer David, Joe Montana was clear the starting quarterback back then. Steve
Hmm.
Young competed with Joe,
Yep.
but Joe always. Now, let's be honest. At the end of the day, Kyle's going to make the decision of who's the starting quarterback is. If he
Right.
wants to give what the fans want to hear, what is the difference between Brock is the starting, taking the first reps, and competing with Trey? Well, the difference is that Kyle wants to win a Super Bowl. He thinks that that Brock gives him his best chance. Why would he split reps with the ones and take away from Brock? Well, that's the quarterback. You got to make hard decisions in business. Some decision making is not going to be popular with a lot of people. Some are. But you, as the individual, have to make those decisions that might not be popular with everyone else. But that's what you get paid for. And Kyle made the decision to say that Brock deserves to work with the ones. Now, you said it yourself. No quarterback has been named the starter. So that means Kyle is not being stuck or stubborn. Well, Brock is the starter, and that's it. And why should he do that anyway? Why give the Steelers any thinking of who the starter is? Let them be guessing until week 1. Some things
And
don't
you know
have to
what?
be
And in
said.
all honesty, and I say this a lot. Like if as long as they know who it is in the building, that's all that
And they
matters.
do know.
Right.
They do. At least they have a good idea of who that individual is. And if that
I got
individual
it
starts
on
and
the
wins,
I got it online, Dawn, on the team store.
oh, the hat.
Yeah.
But so Jerry compete for every spot. Yeah, but he was not. Let's
No,
keep it
he asked,
real.
did Jerry compete for a spot? Is Mahomes competing for a spot?
No. Now, is it fair?
Exactly.
Is it fair that Mahomes doesn't? What about the Mahomes backup? He deserves to compete. If that,
He should be splitting reps with Patrick Mahomes. Why not?
yeah, why not? Because you never know what you have behind Patrick.
See how dumb that sounds?
Yeah, I'm not. We're not calling you, David, dumb. Just clarity on that. We're talking about how it sounds. When you believe in a player, you back them up. I'm pretty sure at your job, if you're busting your ass just doing what you do and do it well, you want to know that they believe in you, right? That they're confident in you.
Yep.
That reassures you that, okay, at least for me, it did. I want my bosses to be confident in me. And you might say, well, they're not confident in Trey. No, not right now. Not in the sense as they are for Brock. But you can't, in life, you're never going to be able to satisfy everyone. All the Brock Purdy fans, yeah, great job, Kyle. All the Trey fans, Kyle's an idiot. Just because he's not picking the player you like. Again, it's about the name in the front, not the name in the back. Now, see, this is me, Jess, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for you on this. If it would have been the other way around and Trey did what he did, what Brock did last year, and Trey would have been the number one rep guy this offseason, I wouldn't want Brock competing with him. Trey should take them all. I'll be completely okay with Trey being the guy taking the first reps and Brock competing with Sam Darnold if it was reversed. I got no problem with that, and I'm damn sure you don't. This is why I
No.
was able to say this, knowing how you think on that perspective. It's a matter of what player's there because Kyle believes in that player a little bit more than the other. That's it. So if it would have been Trey, I'm good with it. It's Brock. I'm even good if it would have been Sam. And some people say, "Oh, Sam, Mr. Interception Machine," blah blah blah. Well, people do change. People do learn. Now, do I expect Sam Darnold to be a great quarterback? Probably not. Could he be better under Kyle? Why wouldn't you want? Let's talk about Sam for a second. Not too much. Even if he is our backup or our third, why wouldn't you want Sam to be not good? Wouldn't you want to know that, God forbid, something happens to either Trey or Brock, that Sam can come in and win games for you? I do. So I want Sam Darnold to play his best under Kyle, because if we need to call upon his name, he'll win games for us. And if you think we don't go through quarterbacks, you didn't watch last season, particularly in the NFC Championship game. We went through a shitload of quarterback. What's up, Ken? Welcome. Brock earned the job at Iowa State, never looked back. He will do the same as a Niner. That's a good point. He was a redshirted the first year in Iowa. He didn't go into Iowa State as a starter. He wasn't recruited to be the starter. He had to earn it. And this is not taking nothing away from Trey. I think Trey is a great guy, smart guy, has a lot of great potential. He just caught some bad breaks. And we are where
It
we're
happens.
at today. Just hand him the job then. Why push Brock to be better? Why wouldn't you push Brock to be better? Why wouldn't you push Trey to be better? Competition is the best thing for anybody. May I remind everyone on Aaron Rodgers when they drafted Jordan Love? Now, when you drafted Jordan Love, you know you were not drafting him to replace Aaron Rodgers. But what did that do for Aaron Rodgers? Didn't he have back-to-back MVP performances?
A little
Why?
fire under his butt.
Because fire was put under his butt. You knew Rodgers is better. than Jordan Love, at least at that point. But that same fire that, and maybe that's why they drafted him to get 2 good years out of Roger, because maybe Roger was feeling like, I'm the guy, I'm the man, I don't got to work hard. It's, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh shit, is that what he believes in? All right,
Right.
let's bring a number one kid, drafted in the first round. Because let's be honest, if you drafted a quarterback in the fifth, sixth round, that's not going to put fire under Aaron Rodgers. You draft
Yeah.
the first round quarterback, and now we're talking. And now he turned, what did he give you? Back to back MVPs. So you always want competition, David. You always want competition, no matter who your quarterback is, or running back, receiver. Iron sharpens iron. Daniel Cantu says some people develop faster than others, and better they can take the number one pro job or pro quarterback. Some do develop faster than others. Not everybody comes in like Nick Bosa, right?
No, you're
D-
right.
Dre Jackson did not look that great, but doesn't mean he's not going to be as good as Bosa or even better just because he didn't start hot like Bosa. So to Daniel Cantu's point, some of them take. I seen Jerry Rice had the worst year as a rookie. You look at all the drops that Jerry Rice had year one, you would think he was a bust. Like people like to call it now. The only reason why that wasn't brought up so much back then, Jess, is because there was no social media. But I guarantee you, social media existed back then when Jerry Rice was a rookie. You'll be hearing the narratives. This guy is no good. How did he turn out? Arguably the best receiver in the NFL then and now. So this is my belief, Jess. I'm a true believer. It's not how you start, it's how you finish that defines an
Right.
individual. And
Hmm.
that's always been me. So just because people make mistakes in the past doesn't mean they can be great people. This is why I believe in Sam Darnold more than maybe other people may or may not, because that falls into my mantra.
You know what? At the end of the day, I just think that everybody should just watch and see how it plays out. That's all that we can do.
It's not like we have any control otherwise,
Right.
because I don't see nobody. I don't like to call people out, and I won't. But when I read people say, if I was the Niners head coach, I would do this way. There's a reason why you're not the head coach. Not to be disrespectful. And if you think you are qualified to be a head coach, why aren't you one? Everything seems
Right.
2020 from this side, right? Like when you watch a game on TV and a receiver is being missed by the quarterback. What the hell were you thinking? He was wide open. Duh. You're sitting in your couch with the fan on, eating popcorn and drinking a beer watching this game. That guy has big ass 300-pound guys coming at his face. I'm pretty sure what you saw and what he saw was two different things. There's no pressure in front of your TV. You know what I mean? So I hear that all the time. He was wide open. Why didn't he see him? Do you think that a quarterback truly wants to miss someone that's wide open? Now, Jimmy saw the wide open receiver. He just couldn't get him the ball. Remember that when Juice was wide open and he
Oh my
overthrew him?
God. Yeah. Oh,
See, that was Jimmy. There's no way to defend Jimmy on that. He saw that he was open. He just couldn't get him the ball.
that was
That was,
terrible.
and the same thing with that. Remember that one could have been a touchdown. I forgot what game it was. He got a touchdown a few plays after, which made it less painful. But he missed an open receiver and he even Jimmy showed that. Dang, I missed that. So let's be fans. Let's enjoy. Let's give our opinion. That's fine. See, I don't mind people giving opinions. I don't mind people saying what
But
they say.
and that's just it though. Like if everybody has an opinion, which is fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But if someone doesn't agree with you, it doesn't mean that their opinion is wrong.
No.
And
There's not.
people shouldn't be getting mad at others just because they have a difference of opinion.
Yeah, like listen, there's nothing wrong with it's just like football. There's nothing wrong with having your favorite content creators. Okay, I listen to so and so. That's okay. You like how he reports things. That's good. But it doesn't make the other ones jackasses. It doesn't make the other ones that you particularly don't agree with, well, they don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're not serving the on the menu what you want to eat. So obviously you're talking shit. But all I do is I look at this content creator and I hear what I want to hear. I'll listen to another one. I'll take bits of it. If I really don't like that person, I just don't listen to that person. But I'm not going to talk shit about him. He's doing what he's doing because that's what that person is. You know, so many people hate on David Lombardi. People hate on Jack Hammer because they're not spinning the narrative that they want to hear. I think Jack Hammer, and I'm going to be open. I've always been open. Is a great content creator. I think I love
I agree.
David Lombardi. I'm an ass kisser then, just like them. If that's the category that a lot of people like to put us in, I'm okay with it. I like to be informed about what's going on, exactly what the team is thinking. I don't want opinionated comments from these reporters. I don't want to hear what they think should happen. I want to hear what's happening with the team.
Right.
That's what I'm interested in. So, but I'm not going to talk down or negative about other content creators that don't do that. This is the beautiful thing, Jess, about having all kinds of content creators. Listen to those that you like. And if you appeal to a certain content creator, listen to them, support them. But don't talk shit about others just because they're not spinning the same narrative that the one you likes. You know what I mean? It's just, there's no need for that. Anyway, this is not a preaching channel. It's a football channel. But just enjoy your content wherever you're getting it from. Okay. You want to answer that? I was trying to make sense of it, but I kind of think what you're doing there, but maybe my brain is slow. Maybe yours is faster. Want to reply?
If I had a quarter and you had $1, am I going for the quarter first or the dollar?
Oh, see, I read it wrong. Or at least I interpreted it wrong. Of course you go for the dollar. Of course you go. Now, if you have to build it to $1, you go quarter by quarter. But I would take the dollar. Why waste, but yeah, see, I did read that wrong. It just didn't compute. I'm like, I don't know, is that a trick question? Is that, you know why I didn't read it right? Because I thought it was a trick question. You know those trick questions?
Yeah.
And I read it as a trick question. I don't know, maybe if I say $1, I'm going to sound like an idiot. So I want my whole...
So you'd rather me read it and answer it?
I knew you were going to go there. That's not what I meant. Yes, it was.
No, I know.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. I play the fifth. Okay, I brought it up again. What the hell am I doing? All right. What's up, David Yang? How you doing, brother? Welcome to the stream, man. Good to see you, my friend. Make sure to, if you can kindly hit that like button and subscribe. And if you're not following us, once again, if you're watching this on the Niner Sickness podcast, thank you, first and foremost, for tuning in from that channel. But if you can do me the favor to make your way to Niners Now podcast, type in Niners Now pod, P-O-D. The reason why I say pod, because it comes up that way faster than it if you type in podcast. Click on there and subscribe to the channel and like it, because what we're eventually going to do is just go live on the Niners Now podcast. That's our goal. And we wouldn't want you guys to miss out on our future shows because you're not subscribed to the Niners Now podcast. I want Trey to succeed, but every time he's on that practice field, he needs to impress, and he just hasn't been able to do it. consistently, especially with the lack of opportunities the quarterbacks are given. It's a good point. And we all want Trey to succeed. I don't
Right.
know. We gave up. This is where it doesn't really, I guess it doesn't matter still what you gave up for him, but this is why because we gave up so much for him, I want him to succeed. But most importantly, I want him to succeed as a human being. I want him to be successful, whether it's here. See, and this is where there's a lot of separation between me and other Niner fans. If Brock is the guy and he's winning here, I still want Trey to go to another team and be successful and be great at what he does. You make decisions in life and you live with them, good or bad. And when you make a bad decision, you learn from them and you try to improve your next decision making. But you live with it, the good and the bad, right, Jess? You don't sit
That's
there and
right.
woe is me shit. You move on from Trey and you decide to go with Brock. You live with that decision. But I want Brock to be successful elsewhere. I don't want him, I want him to be successful only with the Niners. Then you're just being selfish and you're thinking about yourself. And I'm not referring this to David, but just in general. You want him to be successful. You prefer him to be successful in the Niners, of course. But if he goes to Washington and he becomes a freaking Hall of Famer over there, but Brock Purdy won us 1 or 2 Super Bowls, why am I going to be mad? And if Brock doesn't win us a Super Bowl and then later on Trey does win a Super Bowl with Washington, I'm just saying Washington as a team, I'm going to be, it sucks for us, but I'll be happy for Trey. But I'm not going to hate on Kyle for making that decision. He made a bad one, but he lived with it. This is what people don't realize. Everybody wants to be a head coach, but nobody wants to make a decision as a head coach. It's not a popularity contest. Sometimes you're going to be liked for what you do. Sometimes you're going to be hated for what you do. So, anyway, you want to add any more
I
to?
just want to answer Dawn. Yeah, this hat is the one with the flowers on it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from where you're from the camera standpoint, but I couldn't tell with flowers. I don't know what it is, but there's flowers on there.
Yes, there's flowers on my hat.
Yeah, you guarantee you're not going to see me buying that hat. Maybe.
I stopped Maddie because he was too quick to pick a number before people actually pick numbers.
Yeah, you don't do a random pick, huh? Because
No,
I'm
well,
not.
we actually, what we usually do, but because just the type of setting we were in, like the past 2 weeks, like with our giveaways, I opted to do it that way.
Yeah, not that I'm ever questioning yours or Maddie's or anybody's integrity. And this is why I always tell people this: they're giving the shit away. Do they care who gets it? They're happy for whoever gets it, right? But
Right.
people tend to believe, well, maybe Maddie chose that individual. He's giving away his ticket. He just wants somebody to enjoy it. He likes
Right.
everybody in the podcast, right? But this is why I like to do the random with the phone, because people are always going to be people. I swear. Not that you care, but
Well, and you know what too? Like he didn't even see the numbers. So,
yeah. No, I know. I hear you.
yeah.
Even if he
Well,
did,
right. No, I'm just saying like he just
but
didn't
people don't
even
know that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But it's free. Now I will question it if I had to put money into something. Then I'm be honest. Do I know Maddie well enough to put money? I don't know. But when it's free, give me a break. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
hear you.
You know what I mean? But people are gonna do, but I say this, do what you do. It's your podcast. And some people will understand and support you, some people won't. So be it. But once you start trying to structure your podcast to your audience, you're going to be miserable. And I'm not saying that's
Terradome
what you're
has
going to do.
entered the building.
Who has?
Terradome.
Where? I don't see him.
Very last comment.
Yeah, I don't see him.
I'm way ahead of you.
No, I'm all the way to the bottom of the comments. This is the last comment I see. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I like to mess with my boy Pterodome. That's my boy right there. That's my brother. So can't you tell we have the same skin tone? We're the same. We're twins. Same body shape, everything. That's my boy Pterodome. I love Pterodome. I love, man. I love that he has his channel going now. He's doing his thing, man. He did great on your show. Oh, by the way, real quick, before I forget, where is it? I just want to congratulate you on the Jesse Sapolo interview. You had a great one with Spencer Buford, but I love reminiscing the past. I love the storytelling of Jesse Sapolo. It was really fun to watch and enjoy the show because Jesse, for one, I love him that he was talking shit about the Cowboys. Yes. I love that he's even to this day he's still talking shit about the Cowboys. But Jesse's a great guy. I love what he's doing for the community. I love how he gives back. I can never pronounce the word. I can spell it, but I can't pronounce it. Help me out here, Jess. Paulo, I can't pronounce it.
Polynesian.
Thank you. I try to say it, I can't. How he supports them and having them. I love that story when I heard that when he came up in the ranks, there was only a few. You can fit them all in one hand. And now there's over 100 of them playing in the NFL. And I say this because I'm Hispanic, and yes, we got a few Mexicans playing in there, but not as many. Now soccer's a whole different story, but in football, and so there is pride to see your nationality in there doing their thing. So I love that story. So if you haven't checked it out, I know I'm blabbering here, but if you haven't checked it out, please make sure to go to East Coast Red and Gold podcast. Click on the Jesse Sapolo. It took place yesterday. Make sure to watch it. It was fun. And while you're watching it and you're done, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, don't go to somebody's house and eat and not give them a compliment by hitting that subscribe button on your way out. It's like going to a restaurant and not paying for your bill, right? You just don't do it. I mean, people can do it, but it's not right. So, we came up a little bit late. It's 5 after 1. Not after 1, but after 1 hour. You want to keep going a little bit longer since we started late, or you just want to end it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Go a little bit further?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. All right. So I got the okay from the boss. See, I'm just deluxe. Well, I don't know if I'm deluxe. That came out wrong. She's the brains and the boss. Stop it, Jess. Don't make fun of me. I'm very emotional. I'm insecure. Shit. The last time I was insecure, I was 3 years old, I think. Jess was talking old school. Oh, Jesse, excuse me. See? I took out the E. Too close. Our way of doing it, true to that, Pterodome, the fact that the NFL is not played the way it was played today, not to take nothing away from Tom Brady. What Tom Brady was able to accomplish, the guy deserves it. He's the GOAT within his own right. 7 Super Bowls. That's amazing. But he did not play. I'm not saying he couldn't play, but he did not play in an era where defenders were taking your head off. I like what Jesse Sapolo said about, like for instance, Nick Bosa against Seattle, when he got when that pick 6 was taken away, the next time he got a sack, he almost hurt himself trying not to fall on top of the quarterback. Yep. That's how bad it's got. I remember seeing Steve Young crawl on the ground in Arizona because he got hit. So I remember.
I remember that. Yep.
When Oates, if I'm saying his name right, from the Giants, sent Joe Montana to the hospital. These were I understand that the NFL is trying to protect themselves from concussions and nobody, but it's football. It's a gladiator mentality. And see, a lot of the youngsters and young people living in this era will never understand that. They will never understand how fun it was to watch football. I remember real quick, I was watching an old game, and for some reason, I lost myself doing things around the house. I lost myself that I was watching an old game, right? And I'm so used to the penalties today, right? So somebody got hit way out of bounds, and there was no penalty, and I'm like, "What the hell? No penalty?" And then I realized, oh shit, I'm watching a 1984 game. Of course there's no penalty. You know what I mean? But I'm so used to the damn penalties being called today that I expected it to happen. But the game that I was watching, that didn't exist. Do I like that they protect quarterbacks? Yes. And you know why you know what? The NFL's not even protecting the quarterback for what you think they are. They're not protecting them because they love quarterbacks, human beings. They're protecting their investment in bringing money. Quarterbacks make the NFL money. Like Joe Burrow. He just got hurt in training camp, right? Do you think that's good for the NFL? Do you think if Joe Burrow misses 6 games, that's terrible for the NFL? Do you think the NFL wants him to come back because they're really concerned about him? They're concerned about the revenue. So don't get it twisted when it comes to the NFL. They're protecting themselves more than the player. But people are like, well, the NFL is being more considerate. No, they're not. They just want people to tune in. And now you got so many people that I ain't watching football. That's too violent. Shut up. Go watch golf then. Go watch golf. It's too violent. I can't stand people like that. I'm sorry. Why can't they play? Somebody told me one time, why can't they just play flag football? I go, the day that it's almost there, but the day that it becomes flag football, that'll be the day that I stop watching football altogether. There's no way I'm watching. It's like watching the Pro Bowl.
Oh, God,
I like the Pro Bowl back then. Even the Pro Bowl back then is better than the Pro Bowl now. You know what I mean? Now it's like, I do it more because I like to watch the players interact with one another. I like the players, whatever. So, but I watch it for a whole different reason if I watch it. But I don't want the regular NFLs to be like the Pro Bowl. Can you imagine games like the Pro Bowl every game? The whole fun will be out of there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to watch it.
No, it's like, what's up, Melissa? We got
Hi, Melissa.
the queen of the social media making her rounds, my little sis. Melissa, how you doing, girl? Good to see you. I don't know if I acknowledged Bebop earlier. If I didn't, my apologies, Bebop.
Hey, Bebop.
If I did not acknowledge you, I'm acknowledging you now, man. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Yep. And you know what? I was talking to my friend Nathaniel earlier today. The reason why I was late, and yes, I blame it on him if he's watching. The whole, yesterday when Brock threw those 2 deep balls where he overthrew the receivers that people were talking shit about. Like, it's funny that the whole offseason, right, Jess? What were they talking about Brock Purdy? The dink and dunk. He doesn't have the arm strength. We know he's 60% accurate. They were not talking about his accuracy. They knew he was good there, but they were talking about his weak arm. He throws a 50-yarder, shows out that he has the arm, and now they want to say that he's not accurate enough to make those. What is it? Stop moving. I love what Larry Krueger said. Stop moving the goalpost. Stop moving it. It's either one or the other, but don't change it. It wasn't even about if he can complete those passes. It was about that he was able to throw them. and did not
Yeah,
affect his arm.
after hearing Larry say that, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it's and I like that I like that he mentioned that two different people can see two different things.
Yep.
He said that week game one, I mean practice one from Brock Purdy was great in his opinion, and some other content creators said he was trash. Two different opinions. They both saw the same thing if they were there, but they reported two different things. And if I like to hear what Larry says, then guess who I'm listening to? If I like to hear the other individual's comments, then I'm going to listen to him or her. But it is what it is. It's practice, ladies and gentlemen. It's practice. Yeah, the noodle arm, the dink and dunk, that's what I heard
Yeah.
too. And he was demonstrating that not only is this kid coming off an elbow injury, which he had surgery in March, he has come they expected him to come to the, like 2 weeks in August, like the later of August. He comes in early. He's throwing the ball. But people that just don't like a certain player, they're always going to, this is why you can never, ever worry about accommodating everyone. Because no matter what you do to try to please someone, they're always going to find something about you that they're going to talk shit about. And this is why you cannot waste your time on what people's opinions are about you. Because negative people are going to be negative no matter what. You can give negative person $100 and they're going to bitch you didn't give them 1,000. Or let's say you give someone $100 and you give the other person 200 next to him. They're going to bitch on why they didn't get the 200 instead of appreciating that they got $100 bill. So I don't worry about negative people. I like to stick with positive people, and that's who I am. And people like me for it, fine. If they don't, I don't care.
Thanks,
Yes,
Melissa,
yes.
for posting the link.
She put out the link. Yes, check out yesterday's podcast. It was amazing. The best part is Jess did what she does best. Just sat there, calm, cool, and collected, and smiled through the whole thing. Just like that.
And
And she had the
what's funny?
arm.
I was like starstruck.
Really? I don't get Star Trek.
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. And
Really?
I just loved hearing his stories and
No, I like that.
excuse me.
See, I look at
I
him as
loved hearing him
like
talk.
grandpa. You know how you go visit grandpa and
Yeah.
like my grandfather before he passed away, he was in the Navy, so he was in an SS California, and he was at the when the whole Hawaii Pearl Harbor happened.
Yeah.
He was there. He saw the whole thing, and I used to love hearing his stories of it because it was raw, uncut.
Yeah.
He told me because a lot of news cut a lot of things because they can't share it like that. He shared
Mhm.
it like what he's seen, and Jesse Sapolo was speaking based on what he feels and what he saw. And I that's what I love about that show. And if you're only tuning in to the East Coast Wrestling Go because they have guests, shame on you. Tune in to them because they are great. I love the cast. You got Jess, Maddie, Ty, and Beck. They work, their chemistry is great with one another. They work great together. And they give you a bonus. They throw a bone at you when they bring in Jesse Sapolo, when they bring in Spencer Buford. Take that as a bonus. So make sure to follow them every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Now, occasionally when they have a guest, like they did with Spencer Buford the week before and yesterday, they may change the date because they're trying to accommodate their guest. And a lot of times their guests cannot be available when they have their podcast. And good for them for accommodating their guest. So look for them on Thursdays. If you missed the Spencer Buford, check out Thursdays the week before, and check out yesterday's with Jesse Sapolo. It was fun. If I'm not mistaken, you guys kept Jesse Sapolo a little bit longer than you kept Spencer Buford, huh? Which I thought it was
Well,
cool.
we only had we had we had a certain time with Spencer,
Mm.
and
Which is
Jesse just
understandable. He's an active player going into
yeah,
training camp.
absolutely, absolutely. We try we definitely are mindful of their time. And Jesse just enjoyed himself, so
He's
he stayed on
retired.
longer.
He has the.
Yeah,
You know what caught me though? That guy flies from Hawaii to Santa Clara for every home game. Here
yeah,
I'm complaining about driving an hour and a half. He flies to every home game. And the money is whatever, whether he has the money or not, that's not the issue. To me, it's the going to the airport, get into the plane, get into the airport, go, that's wow. That man is dedicated for sure, man. I love me Jesse Zapolo. I there's a I don't know if you guys hear Audibles, but there's a website. It's called Audibles, and I download a lot of books. You can read books. They read books out to you in the whole 9 yards. And there's a one by Steve Young. I got to remember the name of it, but it tells you that in Steve Young's words, tells you his whole career from college to the pros and everything. And it's a great hearer, man. I've got to know. It's almost like I met Steve Young in person, getting that insight.
hmm
Sometimes we hear what we see on TV. We hear what they say behind the mic. But when you hear books like this, or when you hear a story of him telling how he was afraid and how he had fear how he felt alone. It just seems like you get to know the person a little bit better. I'll try to remember the name of the book and then bring it up in the next show. But if you haven't seen it, read it or heard it, I really recommend it. And I know it doesn't help that I'm not giving you the name, but is Steve Young? I don't have it. I'm not even going to bother looking for it, but on this phone.
Terradome said I was like Johnny Carson. Let the star be the star. That's how you do it.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And that you did. And your job as a host is to pretty much host. Make sure everything's working. Make sure the audio, the video, everything. And a lot of people don't realize that when you're hosting, it takes work. Just not just being up here just talking away. You got to make sure everything is working for the enjoyment of the listeners. Jed loves Jim Ball. I can't pronounce that name. Ball and helping others reach their dreams. And every time I noticed you wrote Jesse, but I'm so stuck on Jess that it throws me off for a second. Like Jess loves. And I was gonna ask you. I didn't know you love, but then I had to look at it again. Jesse, damn you, Jess. Anything else you want to say before we call it a show? Or
No,
you,
I think that's it. I mean, everybody just enjoy. I mean, the season's right around the corner. Let everything play out, and let's just have fun.
yes, yes. Let's have fun and enjoy the game of football. Now, I'm not saying you're not entitled to your opinions, and hey, keep your opinions going. Express how you feel, but understand just because people don't agree with you or may disagree with you, it doesn't make them smarter or stupider than us. It's just a matter of a difference of opinion. See it for what it is. That's all. Just nice hat, Jesse. Now I said Jesse. Oh, that's it. This show's over. This show is way
Thanks,
over
Marco.
now. Now I'm looking at the other way. What it is, I'm focused on Jesse. Damn you, Jess. Steve Young has eight books. No, I know. I know. I spoke faster than what I should have. That's my problem. I speak first, think second. And I should have got the name of the book first and then mentioned it. I know, Jess. Not everybody's smart as Jess. But nobody's as nice looking as me. Shut up, Jess. Shut up. With that said, I'm glad that we were able to come into your living room or wherever you're watching us. Thank you for giving us your time, spending time with us. I hope you had a good time. And for those that came in that we might have not agreed with your comments, we love you guys anyway. We thank you and grateful
Mhm.
that you're viewers of our show. Again, we may not always agree with one another, but at the end of the day, we have one thing in common. We all love our Niners and we want our Niners to be successful and we want the sixth Lombardi trophy in the trophy case. So, anything happening on your channels that you might want to mention on the way out?
Well,
Just
we are back on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are actually going to have Jack Hammer and Larry Kruger on Wednesday.
you know what? You better start thinking about that Niners Now podcast too. I'm
So come join us. It'll be fun. We'll, hear what they have to say about training camp. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.
yeah. I'm not gonna say yeah. My show's boring after you heard that. So I'll be having something on my show. Who would be? No, just kidding. I love Jess, man. I'm so glad that Jess decided to accept my offer as a co-host. She's amazing. I love her talent, and she's great. So I am blessed to have her have you as a co-host. And I know this show, whether it's popular or not, I know we're going to continue to have fun and build our relationship as friends because you're an amazing person, Jess, and I truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you for being my co-host here on the Niners Now podcast.
Well, thank you for asking me.
Appreciate it. With that,
Appreciate it.
we say goodbye, and we'll see you on the next Niners Now podcast next Friday, God willing, at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Until then, we are out of here. Good night,
Go Niners.
everyone. Go Niners.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.